Hey everybody, welcome back. I am bored. COVID made me bored, and today at the table, I am doing a quick playthrough of Marvel Dice Throne. This was the Kickstarter that I backed that came in recently. I went through a quick unboxing. I didn't go through every character, but it's a quick unboxing just to get an overview of the components and the great packaging that this thing came in. All 8 characters in this beautiful battle chest with the quality just and organization just really blew me away. I really like it. So I am. This is my first Dice Throne board game, or I guess game. And I've never played Dice Throne before. I've gone through some of the rules. Definitely not an expert in Dice Throne, and just looking at the different players and seeing the number of choices that you have. I kind of feel like this is not an easy game to just teach. You can't just throw this on the board and start teaching people because there's just so much involved. It's straightforward. It's not complicated, but you have to be mindful of a lot of things, a lot of the cards that you have, which cards you can play, what time you can, when you can play them, what all the different attacks that you have. I feel like you really have to get to know your character to really maximize their abilities, their cards, the strategy. So I am definitely not an expert in any of these characters yet. I just thought I'd give a quick playthrough and see how well I do in terms of getting my mind wrapped around Dice Throne. But I really like the artwork. I really like the component quality, and I've got everything set up here. And for a quick playthrough, you'll see that I have chosen Thor and Captain Marvel to go head to head. Mjolnir against her tremendous photon abilities, whatever she is. So I'm just going to put them out here like this, head to head, flying against each other. I kind of wish there was like a stand for them, but that's okay. I can probably find one for my other games. I've got the board set up for Thor versus Captain Marvel, and I think one of the reasons why I chose this was as I was thinking, I was going to try the randomizer. The promo cards that come with the Kickstarter came with some randomizer cards, and I could have just done that. I'm not using any of the promo cards for the characters, and I'm not using any of the Mystic Ability promo cards that came with the Kickstarter. I just have whatever it came with the exception of the nice and heavy Mjolnir, which I get to toss around, and that starts on Thor's board. So I chose Thor versus Captain Marvel just because I was thinking back to Endgame, where Captain Marvel obviously finally shows up. They have a sort of a at the edge of your seat kind of plan to go cut off Thanos' head, but War Machine was sort of questioning her, and that's where Thor steps up, reaches out his hand, and sees if she'll flinch as the Stormbreaker goes into his hand. And I just thought, oh, imagine if that didn't go well. Imagine if it knocked her in the back of the head, and because the angle was slightly off, or the Stormbreaker was coming from a different angle. If it pegged her from the back of the head, she would probably be pretty upset. And then gloves would come off. They'd step back. Thor would summon some lightning. She would start lighting up like a fireball. And I would imagine the two of them would just have some good old-fashioned fist-fighting fun. So that's the reason why I decided to go with this combination. And I've got their board set up. So you'll see Thor, he's got his various attack abilities and one defense ability. There's a lot to read, a lot of text. I think definitely this is something that, for a beginner like me, a lot to sort of absorb and go in. But I think once you get to know it and know the different symbols, the different meanings, at the end of the day, this is dice roll, do an attack, defense roll, deal some damage, call it a day. You've got his leaflet, which shows his special status effects that he has, his guard break, his electrokinesis, and his Mjolnir. His Mjolnir is pretty interesting. He gets to throw that at someone for undefendable damage. So I think that's great. You can just keep on throwing it at somebody until you beat them down 50 points. But it takes a card every time to throw and retrieve it, and you also get a little bit of a bonus when you do retrieve your hammer by charging up with your electrokinesis. For Captain Marvel, I've got her board here, and she's got, again, a bunch of attacks, various attacks and abilities. She's got her ultimate attack, she's got her 1 defense capability, and for her leaflet, she has her status effects, which is Cosmic Ray, Cosmic Flare, and Radiance. These are all positive status effects. And as I understand, just like Thor, he has positive status effects. Positive status effects means it's a bonus. It's something that enhances you. And typically, you would place it on your own character board for those kind of bonuses. You obviously wouldn't give it to your opponent. I think other characters in this game, possibly Doctor Strange, maybe off the top of my head, I haven't played with them. Doctor Strange, Loki, I think because of the type of characters that they are, I can imagine that they inflict negative status effects on the opponent and that hinders them in some way. So I think that's kind of neat. I think that adds a layer of strategy to it. And obviously I've got their dice. So we are pretty much ready to go. And I think it's a matter of roll the dice and the highest person goes. So in this case, it would be Captain Marvel to go first with a 6 against a 4. So the very first thing you would do on your turn is called the upkeep phase, where if there's any status effects that are happening, you would resolve those first. And we're just starting, so no status effects. And then you have the income phase, which you're going to gain 1 combat point and draw 1 card. But I think for the very first player, they do not earn their combat point. So they start off with a base of 2 combat points and 50 health. So in this case, we start off with a starting hand, I believe, a starting hand of 4 cards or 3. It's 4. So she gets to draw 1 card, and I've shuffled them. We're going to take a look here. So we've got a couple different cards here. We have upgrade cards, which is denoted by the that you can play during your main phase, which is the next phase coming up. You have a cost, and it's an upgrade. The name of the upgrade will match one of the ones that she already has, I believe. This is Light Torpedo 2, so she has Light Torpedo right over here. So if I were to play this with my 2 combat points to spend, I could upgrade that if I wanted to. And there typically is an upgrade which you get some kind of additional bonus from the base attack ability. You also have, I believe this is a roll phase card that you can play. So this is a card that you can play during the offensive roll phase or the defensive roll phase, depending on what the text does. So a chosen player may perform an additional roll attempt of up to 5 dice during their defensive roll phase. So this is specific. So when Captain Marvel is doing her defensive roll phase, she can play this card with no cost to re-roll up to 5 of her dice. Now, for her defense, it's 4 dice, so she wouldn't be rolling 5, it's 4, but she gets to do a re-roll. Typically, you don't get to re-roll during your defensive roll. Your offensive roll, you get to roll up to 3 times, re-roll up to 3 times. And then she has her instant action card, which would be something that does immediately at any turn or at any time during any phase, and it costs 2 combat points here. You remove a status effect token from a chosen player. So here's the way that you can remove negative status effects. So those are her options. One of her options, we move into the main phase, which is you can play cards from your hand. It could be action cards. It could be an upgrade if you want to. You can also discard cards from your hand if you want to earn additional combat points. So I'm going to discard this one because, well, actually, remove a status effect token from a chosen player. I guess that includes if Thor had a positive status effect, I can actually remove it from him. Okay, so maybe I'll keep that. So we've got Inner Light, Light Torpedo, Photon Punch. I mean, technically I can do an upgrade right now if I wanted to, and maybe that's what I want to do. I'll do Photon Punch. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to play this. It's during the main phase. I'm going to do the upgrade by spending 2 combat points. So I will shift this down to 0, and I put Photon Punch on top of my existing Photon Punch. Once it's there, it is permanent. It's perpetual. You can't take it back and discard it or whatever or whatnot. It stays there until if there's another Photon Punch 3, you can put that on. If there's anything else I want to do, I could, but as of right now, I have no combat points to do it. If I wanted to, I could discard 2 cards and potentially do another another upgrade if I wanted to. That might be a little ambitious, but I'm not going to do that, so we'll leave that as is. Sorry, I forgot to draw 4 cards for Thor. We'll put that over here. And now we go into the offensive roll phase. This is where Captain Marvel can choose to do an attack. If she wishes, she will roll her 5 dice, and she can re-roll any number of dice up to 3 times. And it carries over. So if I choose not to re-roll right now, and let's say Thor had some kind of card that manipulated one of my dice, after that manipulation, I can choose to re-roll again. But once I've done 3 rolls and Thor decides to manipulate one of my dice or do something with my dice, I can't do another re-roll after that. So do I have anything that matches here? I don't, do I? So I think right now what would be great is, maybe I shouldn't have done Photon Punch, but that's okay. I could try for Supernova. But let me see. So I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to try to re-roll these 2. Oh, that rolled off. Oh, okay. So I get those, which gives me enough for the Aurora Wave. Or I can go ahead and go with Inner... Oh, no, sorry, I can't. I can only do Inner Light. So dealing 4 pure damage. So there's several different types of damage. One is defendable, which means that the opponent can roll their defense dice to defend against it. There is, I believe there's a chart in here that actually provides a very nice quick reference right here. So you have normal damage, which is defendable, avoidable, modifiable. You have undefendable. You have pure damage, which is not defendable. You can avoid it if you have a card. You cannot modify it, and it doesn't have any special targeting rules. So in this case, Thor or Captain Marvel could not modify those values. So sure, I'll go ahead and do that. So I'm going to declare an attack using Inner Light against Thor. We'll quickly check Thor's hand to see if he has anything that he could play. He has Stormbreaker. Play only if you have thrown the Mjolnir twice this turn, so he has nothing that he can do. So because this is pure damage, it is not defendable. Thor would not roll his defense roll. It's completely skipped. So in this case, we'll first, before we deal the targeting damage, we gain 1 Radiance status effect. So the Radiance is, a player with this token may spend it to change the value of any die roll as part of the roll attempt during their defensive roll phase. So I've gained that, so I'm just going to place it on the top of her board, and I'm going to issue 4 damage to Thor. So that brings him down to 46. It's actually nice having these dials rather than... I wish every game came with these great dials. And at the end of that, we go back into a main phase again, where Captain Marvel, if she had more than 6 cards in her hand, she would have to discard down to 6. But, oh no, sorry, not during main phase, that's the discard phase. So main phase I can play, if I wanted to, I could do a discard and no, I don't think I'm going to. So I'm not going to do anything, and then I have to discard this down to 6 cards, and she has only 4 cards. So that ends Captain Marvel's turn. It goes over to Thor. Thor gains 1 combat point to 3. He draws 1 card, and he takes a look here. So we can go ahead and let's go with Odin Force. Okay. So they're all any status effects? No status effects. So we're going to go ahead and let's discard a card. Let's discard a card. I'm going to discard... let's discard Odin Force. I'm going to discard this card. I gain 1 CP, and I choose to throw my Mjolnir on Captain Marvel. And when I do that, she gets 1 undefendable damage, so she's down to 49. And then I'm going to spend 2 combat points to play Hammer 3, because you don't have to go in sequential order, as I understand it, you can just play it. Or maybe Thunderbolt. No, we'll do Hammer 3. And when I do this, I get to retrieve the Mjolnir I get to get that back. And it says on a 3 of a kind, gain electrokinesis. So I'm going to put that on hammer 3. That's an upgrade. And I get to retrieve my Mjolnir. When I retrieve my Mjolnir, I gain 1 electrokinesis token or status. And according to that, a player may spend 3 electrokinesis at any time to draw 1 card. So if I gain 3, I can spend the 3 to draw a card. Not a huge benefit, but you never know. Okay, so anything else I want to do during my main phase? I can't play this because I've only thrown it. I could throw it one more time. And I gain 1 CP, guard, break, and electrokinesis. Why not do that? So if I discard this card, let's discard this card. And I discard that, I gain 1 CP. And I'm going to throw the Mjolnir again. And she goes down to 48. And now I should be able to play this. There's no cost to the card. Play if I've thrown the Mjolnir twice, and I have. So I get to draw a card. I get to gain 1 CP. And I gain guard, break, and electrokinesis. So I gain guard, break, and electrokinesis. So guard break is if a player concludes their offensive roll phase with an attack, they may spend this token and roll 1 dice. If the outcome is 1 to 3, the attack becomes undefendable. Okay. Okay, so I only have 2 cards left. That ends my main phase. Now I'm going to go to my offensive roll phase. I got 3 hammers, which is not bad. I can actually use that for my hammered 3, and I can deal 6 defendable damage. And here I get 3 of a kind. On a 3 of a kind, I gain electrokinesis. So I'm going to gain another electrokinesis right here. So I could do that. I could re-roll, but I think I'm happy with that. So I've got 4 of a kind here, 4 hammered, and I can spend the hammered 3 ability for 6 defendable damage. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to conclude the roll, and we'll see if this is defensive. Remove a status effect. I don't have any. She can't play this card because she doesn't have enough combat points. So Thor will remove his guard break token. I can spend it. I'm going to roll 1 dice. And on a 1 to 3, it becomes undefendable. So this is 6 undefendable damage. So she doesn't get to roll for her defense, and she takes 6, which brings her down to 42. And then we go back into the main phase, which I'm not going to do anything. And I have only 2 cards in my hand, so I don't need to do a discard. And that ends Thor's turn. Oh, that's pretty neat. Okay, so we're going to go into Captain Marvel's phase. She gets 1 CP. She draws a card. She still has the hammer sitting on her, but apparently I don't think it does any negative effects. Yep, okay. And it's not considered a status effect, so I can't play this card even if I had the CP points to do it. So right now I do have something called Shining Bright. It doesn't cost me any CP. I can play during my main phase, spend up to 3 CPs, I don't have it, gain Cosmic Flare per CP spent. Okay, so that's no good to me. So I'm going to, you know what, I gotta do a couple discards here to gain some CP. So I'm gonna discard a Light Torpedo to gain 1 CP. I'm going to discard, that's fine, I'll just discard this one to gain another CP. You cannot gain more than 15 combat points in total. And now I'm going to play this card to spend up to 3 CP, gain 1 Cosmic Flare. Her Cosmic Flare allows her to do, during the upkeep phase, a player with this token deals 1 damage, deals 1 unavoidable damage per Cosmic Flare to all opponents, then removes one of these tokens. Okay, so let's just go ahead and do that. So I'm going to spend 3 CP, which brings me down to 0, or should I do an upgrade? No, you know what? I'll do an upgrade. So I keep this back. I'm going to do inner light. Inner light is right here. I play this upgrade during my main phase. And I believe that's it for my main phase. I'm going to do my offensive roll. I get a bunch of photon symbols plus that. So I have enough to do 7 defendable damage. I'm going to try re-rolling one more. I'm going to re-roll one more here. Yeah, okay. So now I have enough. So that was 1 re-roll. I've got enough. I declare Photon Punch, dealing 8 defendable damage. On a 3 of a kind, I gain Cosmic Flare. Do I have 3 of a kind? One. I do. I have 2 2s, so I gain a Cosmic Flare. Okay, so I've declared my attack. Thor has nothing, no cards to play for during the roll phase. So he is now going to roll his defensive roll. So I get 3 dice. I roll 3. Okay, and this is nothing to me. On 2 hammers, you get to throw or retrieve the Mjolnir and prevent 2 times the number of these in terms of damage. So on a lightning, you gain electrokinesis. So I gain electrokinesis. Okay, so technically I could discard the 3 electrokinesis to draw a card. So I defend 2 damage, but yeah, and it's defendable. So he takes 6. So he's down to 40. So that was 6. Okay, so that was the defensive roll for Thor. We're done here. We go back to the second main phase for Captain Marvel. She's not going to do anything. She already has 2 cards. End of turn. It's now Thor's turn. He has 5 combat points. He draws a card. Okay, so this is pretty nice. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to discard 3 electrokinesis to draw a card. Oh, so we have a defensive. So it adds a bit more. Okay, so we can do a couple things here. Do we have Thunderbolt? Thunderbolt. There's a straight lightning rod. So I'm going to spend 2 CPs, so I'm down to 3, to upgrade my defense capability, Thunder Wheel 2. And I'm going to, let's see, what benefit do I have of doing that? To a 6? Oh, I guess that's good if I had it. Okay, so I did my income phase, main phase. I'm not selling any cards off to gain CP. I'm okay there. So I'm going to do my offensive roll. And do I have anything useful? I have nothing useful. Ideally, I'd like to... 1, I have a 4, 5, and 6. I could do a lightning rod. I'm going to try... Okay, so I didn't get any. That's 2. That's a first reroll. Is it up to 3 or 3 additional? Take up to 3 rolls. So first roll, this is my second. So I'm going to try it again. I'm trying to get a 3. Oops. Yeah, here we go. I knocked it, but it's 3, 4, 5, 6. So I do have a small straight. 3, 4, 5, 6 of any symbol, which I could do lightning rod. It says if the opponent you're attacking has the Mjolnir, and she does, you deal 9 damage instead of 7. It's defendable. Otherwise gain electrokinesis. So she does have the Mjolnir. I don't gain electrokinesis, and I don't have guard break. So this is defendable. So I'm going to declare it. I declare my lightning rod attack on Captain Marvel. She could play this one if she needs to, but that's okay. So she's going to do her defensive roll, which is 4 dice. And she gets to do it once. So let's start with this. What do we get? We deal 1 undefendable damage for every Halistar she gets. You prevent... Okay, so I am going to go ahead and I'm going to spend this. The chosen player may perform an additional roll attempt of up to 5 dice during their defensive roll phase. So she's going to discard this card. It doesn't cost any combat points to re-roll, and I'm going to re-roll. I'm going to re-roll up to 5. So I'm going to re-roll all of these. What I'm hoping for is the Halistars. Well, at least I get 1. Okay, so that's it. So I gain this one. For every 2 ascend icons I get, I gain a cosmic flare. So I gain a cosmic flare. And I deal 1 unavoidable damage to Thor because I rolled the Halistar. So he's down to 39. And I prevent 1 out of his 9. So she takes 8. So she is at 34. So 34 to 39. And I believe that is that. So that ends a turn. Thor can discard down, or he can sell off any. He's not going to. He's fine. So we move into Captain Marvel. First thing we do, she does have Cosmic Flare. So this is during the upkeep phase. So a player with this token deals 1 unavoidable damage per Cosmic Flare to all opponents, then removes 1 of these tokens. So Thor is going to take 2. So he's down to 37. We remove 1 of the Cosmic Flares. And I guess I could have spent this Radiance. I forgot that. But I don't think it really matters. Okay. So now we do the income phase, which we increase our combat points to 2. We draw a card. We've got Cosmic Ray, gain a Cosmic Ray if I want to. And we also have this. We only have 2 CPs. We have nothing else. Don't have a lot to do here. So I guess I'm really just going to go into my offensive roll. So I'm going to go offensive roll. And do I have anything useful here? 2. No. I can do a 1, 2, 3, 4. So let's go with trying to do another photon punch, maybe, if I'm lucky. Okay, so that was first roll. Second roll. And third roll. Okay, so I don't really get a lot. But let's see here. I get... No. So the most I can do right now is a photon punch that deals 6 defendable damage. I don't have 3 of a kind, so I don't gain a Cosmic Flare. So I declare that as my attack. Photon Punch for 6 defendable damage. Thor doesn't have any cards to play, so he's going to roll for Thunder Wheel. He gets to roll 4 because he upgraded his Thunder Wheel. Oh, he gets 2 hammers, or 3 hammers, and his what is this called? The Worthy symbol. So for every pair of hammers, you get to throw or retrieve the Mjolnir. So I'm going to retrieve the Mjolnir. When I retrieve it, I gain Electrokinesis. And let's see here. I prevent 2 damage and no lightnings. So I prevent 2 damage. Out over 6, he takes 4. So he's at 33. 33 health. So Captain Marvel takes her roll back. She can go back to the main phase if she wants to, and she's not going to. She has only 2 cards in her hand. End of turn, we go to Thor. He gets his CP up to 4, draws a card. And let's take a look. Change the value of any one of your dice to a 4 or 5. Change the value of any of your dice to a 6. Okay, so we're going to do an upgrade first. Let's go Lightning Rod. Let's upgrade Lightning Rod. So we're going to spend 2 CP to upgrade Lightning Rod. And throw or retrieve the Mjolnir, so I get to throw it. Wait, sorry. That's not when you play it. That's when you get the small straight. So sorry. Somewhere I misread hammered 3 as a throw. So technically, let's give 1 back to Captain Marvel. Sorry about that. I for some reason I thought that was when I play it, but that's actually when you activate that particular attack. Then that happens. So I retrieved it. No, I don't throw it. So I got that. Okay. So now I still have 2 combat points left. Don't really have anything I want to do, so I'm going to go straight into my offensive roll. rolling all 5. Let's see. Ooh, I could potentially do chain lightning. Do I have a small straight? No, I don't. I think what I'll do is I'm going to re-roll this one. Okay. So I am able to do the chain lightning. I roll 3 dice, deal damage equal to the total roll value of any 2 of the dice. Additionally, deal 2 undefendable damage as a source of collateral damage to a chosen opponent, and it could be the same opponent. Okay. So that's what I'm doing. I declare chain lightning as my attack. Captain Marvel doesn't really have anything to do. So the most she can do right now is she can do her defensive roll. So she's going to roll for 4. Okay, she gets these 2 plus these 2, which actually doesn't do anything for her. And so we're going to roll 3 dice. And we get the total any 2. So we're going to do the 5 and the 3, because those are my highest values. That's a total of 8. In addition, I get to do 2 undefendable damage. So this is defendable. It says deal damage. It doesn't specify chain lightning. So I'm going to assume it's defendable, but she can't defend anyways. So I believe this is a total of 10. And here she gains 1 cosmic flare because she got 2 of those symbols. And that's it. Okay, so she's taking a total of 10, right? 5 plus 2, 10. She is down to 25. That was a big hit for chain lightning. We're going to just skip an end turn because Thor isn't going to discard or play any additional cards during a second main phase. And now we go to Captain Marvel. She's going to gain 1 CP. She's going to draw a card. Okay. So, at the beginning we have the upkeep phase, sorry. So it deals 2 damage to Thor. So he's down to 31. We get rid of 1 of the Cosmic Flare. So this is what I'm saying with beginners, especially for me. You have to really keep track of a lot of things that are going on. This is not something I can imagine that you can just play and assume that you'll be able to grasp right away. There is a lot of different decisions that you can make here, and it makes it interesting, but at the same time, not easy for beginners. Okay, so we're going to go ahead straight into our offensive roll, I think. Yes, right? She has 2 combat points. We can gain a Cosmic Ray or a Cosmic Flare. No, we'll keep that. Offensive roll. Okay, so we do have enough for an inner light. We also have enough for 6 defendable damage, but this is 5 undefendable, so I'm going to do that one. I declare inner light against Thor. Thor can't do anything, so he's going to do his defensive roll. He gets this, so he gets to throw or retrieve the Mjolnir. So I'm going to throw the Mjolnir, which deals 1 damage to her, so she's 24. And I also defend against 2, but this is undefendable. She gains Radiance, and she is going to... Oh no, I should be spending the Radiance during my defensive roll. That's okay, next time. And she's going to deal 5 undefendable damage, which brings him to 26. So he's at 26. Okay. And I think that was... Oh, and lightning, he gains electrokinesis. There we go. She takes these back. She's not going to do anything anymore, I don't think. Nope. That's okay. Done. So Thor's turn. He doesn't have any upkeep phase for him. He's going to draw a card, increase his combat points to 3. And let's see. Select one of your opponent's dice and force them to re-roll it. Oh, that's pretty good for 1 combat point. We don't have an upgrade. Do we want to do an upgrade? Let's do upgrade. We're going to spend 2 combat points to upgrade Thunderbolt to level 2. And now we're going to do our offensive roll. We get the 3 hammers and 2 lightning, which is enough again for chain lightning. I could also deal 5 defendable damage. I could potentially change the value to a 6. And I can change one to a 4 or 5, which doesn't really do me any good, but that might be useful next round. Okay, so I'm going to go with that. I'm going to go with Chain Lightning again. Chain Lightning, I'm going to roll three dice, deal damage equal to the total roll plus 2 undefendable damage. So we choose that attack against Captain Marvel. We're going to roll 3 dice. We're going to add the 3 and the 4. That's 7 plus 2 undefendable. That's a total of 9. So Captain Marvel is going to play this one. Discard any number of Radiance status tokens, then prevent 3 damage per token discarded. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to discard both Radiance tokens. That gives me 6 defendable out of the 7. So that's 1 plus the 2 undefendable. So she takes 3. So she's down to 21. And I believe that is it. So that ends it for Thor. We go straight to Captain Marvel. She gains a CP. She pulls a card. We've got refuel. Roll 1 dice. On that, gain Cosmic Flare. Draw on that. On that, gain Cosmic Ray. Sure. Let's spend 1 CP to play this card to refuel. We roll 1 dice. And we get a Cosmic Ray. Cosmic Ray, what do we do here? After attacking, a player with this token may spend it and roll 2 dice. Then choose one of the 2 dice and add the value of the dice to the damage total. It's an attack modifier. Can only spend once per turn, cannot be spent on the turn that it is gained, cannot be removed or transferred by any means. Okay, so we can't do with anything with it this round anyways. Oh, upkeep, forgot the 1 damage to Thor, which is 25, and we lose this one. Okay. So I think at this stage, we're just going to go into our offensive roll. All right. And we get enough for nothing. We get enough for a photon punch. I'm going to re-roll these 2. Okay, so now I get enough to deal my full photon punch. But Thor says, we're going to try this one. Helping Hand. So we spend my last CP, select one of your opponent's dice, and force them to re-roll it. So I choose 1 dice here, re-roll. Okay, that's a 6. So she did 2 re-rolls. She gets 1 more re-roll. So even though he modified it, I can still do 1 more re-roll, and I didn't get it. So that actually botched up my full powered photon punch, but I still get to deal 7 defendable damage. And do I have 3 of a kind? I do not. I do also have do I have a small straight? No, I don't. And I don't think she has a modifier. Okay, so we're declaring a photon punch of 7 defendable damage against Thor. Thor doesn't have anything else, so he's going to roll for his defense. And here we get to, I should have played. So if I had 1 combat point, I could actually change one of my dice value to a value of 4 or 5, which would be the worthy symbol, would help me prevent some of the damage. So here I have 3 of the hammers, and I get to retrieve my Mjolnir and gain an electrokinesis. And then I defend against 2 damage because of this. So out of her 7, I take 6. So Thor is now down to 19. Okay, and that ends this round. And let's see. Okay, so Thor gets 1 CP and draws a card. Ooh. Oh, I only have 1 CP. Well, you know what? I'm going to discard this to gain another CP. I'm going to play 2 CP points, remove a status token from a chosen player, and I remove this one. I remove her Cosmic Ray because I have a feeling she's going to use that next round. And that's it. Offensive roll. Let's see. I get Asgard. I could use the Asgardian Brawn. I have a 4, 5, 6, and can I... Oh, I don't have enough CPs to change that. I could do a re-roll. No, I've got enough for Mighty Summon. So I could technically heal by using the Asgardian Brawn, or I can do Mighty Summon. I cannot do both. You can only choose one out of your potential actions here. So I'm going to go ahead and do Mighty Summon. So Mighty Summon is I gain 2 guard breaks and I heal 2. If you have the Mjolnir, you gain 3 electrokinesis, but I'm at my max. And then otherwise you retrieve it and deal 3 collateral damage to the player you retrieved it from. Oh, that's a shame. Well, technically, I could discard this to throw this and do that back. Right? Can I throw it at any time? I can do it at any time. I'm going to do that. So I'm going to discard my last card. I'm going to throw the Mjolnir onto her. She takes 1 unavoidable damage. And now I'm going to declare my Mighty Summon. So she's going to do her defensive roll first. So her defensive roll will be here. She gets that, which gives her absolutely nothing. So I gain 2 guard breaks. I heal 2. So I'm now at 21. And then I gain my electrokinesis, but I already have maximum. And then, oh, sorry, I don't gain electrokinesis because I don't have Mjolnir. Retrieve the Mjolnir. So I retrieve it. I would gain 1 electrokinesis if I had it. And then I deal 3 unavoidable collateral damage, which is not avoidable and not defendable to her. So that's 3. So she's down to 17. And I healed 2, and that's it. So that was it. Okay. So we go to Captain Marvel. She's going to go 1 CP. Draw a card. She has Supersonic, attack modifier. You may spend a Cosmic, and I don't have one. So she's not really gaining a lot that she needs right now. She could gain a Cosmic Ray. You know what? Maybe I'll do that. I'm going to spend 2 CP to gain a Cosmic Ray. Right here. And, oh, I can spend one. You may spend a Cosmic Ray you gain this turn. After attacking. Okay, so that's during a roll, right? Okay. So I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to do my offense roll. Or offense roll, however you want to say it. Ooh, this is not bad. So I got the Aurora Wave. I also have Inner Light. Again, let me see here. And I also have, I don't have a straight, so, okay. So I'm going to declare Inner Light. Attack against Thor. Thor doesn't have any cards to play, so he's going to roll his defense. Okay, so I have 2 lightnings and 2 hammers. For the 2 hammers, I get to throw or retrieve. I get to throw it. She takes 1 damage, down to 16. And I gain electrokinesis, but I'm already max electrokinesis. So that's it. So now let's do hers. She gains 1 radiance. She's going to pay 1 CP during your offensive roll, right? When attacking. You may spend the Cosmic Ray you gain this turn. I gain that, so I spend it. So I'm going to roll 2 dice. I choose 1 out of the 2. I choose 6. And I'm going to add that value to the damage total. It is an attack modifier. So what I had before was Inner Light, which was 5 unavoidable damage. Plus 6 is 11 unavoidable damage, which I guess didn't really matter. Sorry, undefendable damage. So it wouldn't have mattered. This actually wouldn't have mattered. So it goes down to 11. Sorry, 10. So Thor is down to 10. So that ends Captain Marvel's turn. Thor is going to gain 1 CP draw one card. He's going to discard 3 electrokinesis to draw another card. Transfer 1 status effect token from a player to another chosen player. So her cosmic can't be transferred, but her radiance can be transferred. Interesting. Okay. I don't have enough CP for this, so I'm going to hold on to it. And we're going to do our offensive roll. And we get this, this, and this. We're going to go ahead and re-roll this one. Oh, I get another one. Okay. So I'm going to declare a hammered attack with dealing 8 defendable damage. I get the throw or retrieve. I'm going to retrieve the Mjolnir. I gain electrokinesis. And on a 3 of a kind, I gain another electrokinesis. I do have another one, so I'm going to do that. And I'm going to actually go ahead and discard those right away to draw another card. And then that's it. You know what? I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to drop the transparence to throw it back. She does 1 damage. So she's down to 15. And now I'm going to spend a guard to roll. I got a 1 to 3. It becomes undefendable. I'm going to spend, it doesn't say that there's a limit. So I'm going to spend 1 more to roll again. And I get a 1. So this is undefendable damage. So it's 8 undefendable damage. So she takes 8, which brings her down to 7. So Captain Marvel is down to 7. Thor is at 10. This is a very close battle. So that ends Thor's turn. Any status effects? Nope. She gains 1 CP. And she draws a card. And that's it. So we're going to go ahead, do our offense roll. And okay, here we go. Let's try to roll again. One more time. Okay, so there we go. So I don't have a 3 of a kind, which is fine, but I'm going to declare a photon punch, which is 8 defendable damage. Thor doesn't have anything, so he's going to roll his defense. Oh, that's not bad. So I get a lightning, which means I gain electrokinesis. And I also defend 4. So 4 out of the 8 I defend, so Thor is down to 6 health. So it's 6 to 7. Wow. Okay. So that ends that. Oops. Sorry. And now Thor is going to gain a CP. He's going to look here. Half. Round up. Okay. Vegas, baby. I'm going to roll 1 dice. I take half of that. I gain 3. So I have now 5 combat points. And I'm going to spend 2 to remove all status tokens from a chosen player. So I'm going to remove her radiance. And then I'm going to spend 2 more to draw 3 cards. 1, 2, and 3. I'm going to play this card, which is no combat points. I gain 2 combat points. So I'm at 3. Oh, and I have a hammer 2, but I have hammer 3 out, so there's no sense on playing this one. But what I will do is I will discard this one to gain 1 more CP, but I'm going to spend that CP to play this to draw 2 cards. 1, 2. I can change any value of 1 die. You or a chosen teammate may re-roll. Re-roll up to 2 dice. Okay, that could be useful. Okay, so we're going straight into my offensive or offense roll. Here we go. Okay, so I really want a big punch here. What's my biggest punch that I can do? I have a 3, I'm missing a 4 and a 5, so can I change the dice value? I could. I can get a 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 for a thunderbolt. Oh yeah, let's do that. So I'm going to spend, this is during the roll phase, I'm going to spend 2 CP, so I'm down to 1, change the value of any 1 die. I'm going to change this one to a 4, so I have a 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I have a large straight. Now, does Captain Marvel have anything that she can play? No, she cannot manipulate anything. So I declare a Thunderbolt, large straight, onto Captain Marvel. It is 12 defendable damage. So she's going to roll for her defense. She gets one roll. She gets to deal one unavoidable damage back to me, and she prevents one damage. It doesn't matter. I think she's dead on this one. And she gains a Cosmic Flare. So we'll carry out. We're going to retrieve this back. I gain Electrokinesis. We gain two more Electrokinesis. And I deal 12 defendable damage. She's avoiding 1 because of the Halistar that she has. So she's actually taking 11, but she's already at 7. So Captain Marvel has succumbed to injury. Oh, there we go. I think I played this right, except for a few missteps, and clearly didn't really benefit from every single ability. It does come down to a lot of the luck in your dice rolls and trying to manipulate and keeping track of the cards that you have, keeping track of the status effects. But I like it. I like the back and forth. It's fairly quick. Not a lot of analysis paralysis because your options are really limited by whatever dice rolls you have and the limited cards that you may have in your hand. But I like this as my first sort of dice throwing game. I love Marvel theme. I love the artwork. I love the different status effects. Each character feels unique to me. I really like throwing this hammer around. I think Thor is going to be fun. Maybe it's something that you can actually throw at somebody. No, I don't recommend that, by the way. So I think this was really good. I enjoyed it, and that is the Marvel Dice Throne head-to-head battle between Captain Marvel and Thor. And in this situation, Thor with his Mjolnir came victorious over Captain Marvel. She just wasn't expecting that hammer. So thanks for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed it. And until next time, stay bored.